I never had no experience of this type of weather.
It's like, okay, do I feed my family or do I run the heat?
And they were literally starving and freezing in their homes.
Energy shortcomings across the nation.
We can't just have people die every time we have an emergency.
I think we're going to learn a lot about our community and our needs and infrastructure.
Winter Storm Uri was described as a once-in-a-lifetime weather event. A combination of cold fronts made the record-breaking storm possible. Some state officials proclaimed Uri a storm they couldn't see coming. Meteorologist Zach Shields debunked that a week ahead of Uri.
High likelihood of heavy snow, icy roadways, power outages.
Atiana San Miguel spoke with Zach to break down what he saw and how it has forever changed forecasting.
Zach, days before the storm hit, you warned of outages about Storm Uri. What was it about it that stood out to you?
Well, first of all, here in Central Texas, we don't get a lot of winter storms. It is very tough to get snow, ice in here. All the ingredients have to come together. Well, that week, all the ingredients came together, not only for snow and ice, but a huge Arctic outbreak that lasted for several days. And that's what was so unique about this setup. The Arctic air moved in first, and then we had rounds of snow and ice, making for a long week here in Central Texas.
Were there any other possible warning signs about the grid from prior winter events that stood out?
Well, we knew in a week in advance that some really, really cold air was moving on in. We didn't believe our eyes. So this event started on a Sunday. Earlier in the work week, some of the long-range forecast models were showing some very cold temperatures, possibly dropping below zero. And when it's that far out here in Central Texas, you have to second guess it and go, well, is that really going to happen? But each day, the computer weather models kept showing the same thing. So we knew that it was going to get really cold. We knew that we were going to have record cold. That was going to last for several days. Then we knew at the same time that we could have 4 different winter storms or upper lows to create some snow and ice to make the issue even worse. So we knew the bad weather was coming. I don't think a lot of us knew that we could have power grid problems to knock out the power for several straight days. In the past, I remember in the early 2000s, we'd have these Arctic outbreaks that would last 2 or 3 days, not 5 or 6, and we would have rolling blackouts. But the power wouldn't stay off for several straight days. They'd stay off for a couple of hours. And this go around, we thought that would happen, rolling blackouts, but nothing like this.
Nobody understood the severity of what was to come.
Yes.
And people have also referred to this winter storm as a once-in-an-80-year storm. Would you say that's pretty accurate?
This was probably a once-in-a-lifetime storm for a lot of us. This rivals the Arctic outbreaks we had in the 1980s. But it didn't last as long as this one did. I mean, we had 144 straight hours of freezing weather. That's never happened before. We broke 2 record lows. Wow. We broke 5 record cold highs. We're talking about highs not getting above 32. We had lows in single-digit territory. We had wind chills 15 below zero in some spots. That never happens here in Central Texas. And like I said earlier, not only did we have the record cold, but we had the 4th highest snow event that made it even worse to be on the roadways. Plus, when that snow and ice fell, it couldn't melt away because we couldn't get above freezing. And guess what? Here in Central Texas, we don't have snow plows to clear the road. So when a half a foot of snow falls and it doesn't get above freezing, that snow and ice didn't go anywhere. So we couldn't get snow plows on the roads to clear the roads, so it was hard to travel. And then we started having power outages. So it kept that cold air locked in all week long.
What would you say it was like for you to cover it in real time on air?
It was a long week. We tried to warn the people as best we could that this could really happen. But like I said earlier, this doesn't really happen in Central Texas very often to get the cold outbreak and the snow and ice to happen at the same time. So we're trying to convey that to the viewers. Be prepared. If it gets this bad, I don't want you being stuck at home, not having enough firewood or having enough food, water, things like that, because we tried to tell people at home, when this happens, you're not going to be able to leave the house. You're going to be stuck in your location for several days. And sure enough, that happened 5 straight days. We were stuck in the house, couldn't travel a whole lot, and then we were dealing with the power outages that made matters even worse.
And a lot of people were not only getting their information via news, but also social media platforms. Would you say there is any weather information that you feel the public misunderstood the most?
I think a lot of us underestimated the power of this winter storm because we're just not used to it here in Central Texas. So hopefully in the future, we never have this setup ever again, but if we do have like a snow event or another Arctic outbreak, people are more prepared and take the forecast more seriously. I think a lot of us did, but again, we're just not used to it. And I think that's what surprised a lot of us, as this system came on in. Not only did we have that Arctic outbreak, but then we had 4 different winter storms that produced the record snow. Then we had an ice storm, then we had more snow, and then we had another layer of ice on top of it. So it was just a nightmare to get anywhere. Yeah.
What could you say that meteorologists have learned, or have they changed the way that they forecast when these Arctic fronts come into play?
So I think along with our forecasting, this could happen, this is how cold it's going to be, this is the possibility of snow or ice. Let's also focus on, I think the news and the weather department need to focus on in the future, that how is this changing weather going to impact you?
Right.
How's travel going to be? Power outages, could they happen? Especially with an ice storm. When can we hit the roads again? When will the snow melt? Things like that. We always have a few cold outbreaks that have a little Arctic flavor to it. How often they happen, it just depends on the setup. But sometimes they could come in and last a couple of days. This case, it lasted all week long. But overall, the winters are getting milder.
What is one takeaway that you want Texans to remember for the next storm system that could make its way?
Before any big severe weather event, either in the winter, spring, or summer, even with hurricanes, prepare, prepare, prepare. Prepare for the worst. Have all your supplies ready to go. Have a plan ready to go before the weather event happens. You don't want to be stuck being not prepared.
I'm Atiana San Miguel. Thank you for watching our story. If you would like to see more like it, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to watch us weekday mornings at 7 and 11 a.m. on KCWX. See you on the next one.